I'm just bugging the crap out of you today, aren't I? So many videos. So much time. So much time to facepalm. That's right. It's another GM facepalm episode. Today, we're going to talk about the Sahuagin. Yes, playable race. Why not? Bestiary 1. Sahuagin. Really awesome. Really awesome. I had a lot of fun with them when I ran Skull and Shackles, particularly Book 2, Book 3. Anyway, their exceptional mutations, their distinctive flair, very shark-like. It's blood frenzy. I can kind of think of the Morlocks, if that's what they were, from WoW. They come charging up from the shoreline. Sahuagin. Sahuagin! Yeah, I know. Just a little excited. But anyway, Sahuagin. So, am I saying that right? Okay, Sahuagin. So, I like them. They're cool. But I don't understand it. They have a long tail. Of course, it helps them propel through the water. Exceptional swim speed. Shouldn't they get like a slap and tail attack? It's part of a attack of opportunity that they can use. Is it just there for the purpose of swim? You tell me. Anyway, until then, try to stick along with the bestiary instead of trying to create new things and get away from the theme of the race, the same traits. So if you were to similarly fight them, you would match up well. Sahuagin. Okay, let's get into this. Here we go. Skull and Shackles. Maybe they've been press gained into your crew. Maybe you just happen to have a few monstrous options as playable races for your group. Maybe you add the Sahuagin as one of your own. Anyway, Advanced Race Guide. We're going to stat this thing up. Here we go. +2 strength. +2 to intelligence. -2 to charisma. The Sahuagin, muscular, clever, intolerant. Sahuagin are monstrous humanoids with the aquatic subtype. Let's talk about this for a moment. Aquatic subtype. I was confused, along with a few other people on the boards, at least when I did a search, trying to ferret out answers for my perplexing question. Why are Sahuagin not amphibious? Well, I talked about that before. Some things aquatic are going to be amphibious, other things are not. But when you run a couple of these modules, Adventure Pass, or wherever that feature the Sahuagin, they're described as frequently operating outside of the water, with no mention of any sort of spells to enhance their survivability outside of the water. Do they really hold their breath that entire time they make raid? That is a perplexing question. Shouldn't they be amphibious for the amount of time they spend raiding shorelines and such? At least what was evident, what was seen, what was played with Skull and Shackles. So the Greeny Low can. So finally, James Jacobs said they are not meant to be amphibious, but they can indeed raid shoreline communities. They just have to hold their breath or use magic or other methods to survive during their raids, which are necessarily swift and brutal. So this is a direct quote from him. And that's a little design note there. We'll get to that, but yes. Just in case you have that same perplexing question. there's your answer. It's a pretty good one. So, Sahuagin, medium in size. They are monstrous with the aquatic subtype. The monstrous humanoid, that is a cost of 3, and the subtype for aquatic is a cost of 2. That's just a homebrew modification there, the aquatic subtype anyway, along with the cost, the associated cost. Surprising speed. Sahuagin have a base land speed of 30 feet, and an impressive swim speed of 60 feet. So in the waters you would be very dominant. Your superiority, very evident. Thankfully, in the Advanced Race Guide, they have an option for Blood Frenzy. You can take that right out of the book there, since it's exactly what is in their bestiary stats. So once per day, whenever a Sahuagin takes damage, it can fly into a frenzy for 1 minute, gaining a +2 racial bonus to Constitution and Strength, but a -2 penalty to their AC. That's pretty badass. And I think for most groups, I think you can pretty much use that for just about every fight, since most fights happen once a day, usually. I've had quite a few in one day, but you know, when you're doing the random encounters and such, you know, that usually comes up. Darkvision, they can see in the dark up to 60 feet. They have light blindness. They're used to operating in the dark. So, Abrupt, exposure to bright lights blinds Sahuagin for 1 round. On subsequent rounds, they are dazzled as long as they remain in the affected area. Natural attacks. Sahuagin gain a natural bite attack, dealing 1d4 damage. But they also receive claw attacks that are primary attacks as well, and deal 1d6 damage. Rubbery skin. Kind of like sharks, maybe a scaly skin. You choose, you decide, but I went with rubbery skin, and they have a +1 natural armor bonus to their armor class. Speak with sharks. Sahuagin can communicate telepathically with sharks to a distance of 150 feet. This communication is limited to simple concepts such as "come here, defend me," or "attack this target." Let me go over those costs real quick here. So I'm kind of getting a little ahead of myself. I don't get ahead to myself. Sorry, that was bad. Alright. Frenzy, the Blood Frenzy is cost of 2. To speak with sharks, cost of 2. No cost for Darkvision. Alright, now on to another interesting topic of discussion here, mainly with myself. And here we go. Sahuagin are supposed to have blind sense. Blind sense is a cost of 4. I'd like to avoid that, especially when I saw this thing called water sense. Makes a lot more sense to me with a lower cost. What it is, Sahuagin can sense vibrations in water, granting them blind sense 30 feet against creatures that are touching the same body of water. Do sharks see well that great out of water? I didn't bother to look that one up, but anyway, I would assume not. So, water sense. It's a cost of 1 point. You get away with having to make a cost of 4. It makes sense that they would have better advantages in the water anyway, such as what is evident with their speed to swim. So let's give them water sense, where they can get that blind sensibility when they operate in the water. Able to sense the vibrations in the water, similar to what the shark does, right? There's some vibration sense. There's where they can sense distress in the water. So there we go. Languages. Sahuagin begin play speaking Common and Aquan. Sahuagin with high intelligence scores can choose from the following languages: Aboleth, Abyssal, Draconic, Elven, and Undercommon. Alternate racial traits. Keen Scent. That's nowhere listed in the Advanced Race Guide. I did see the Keen Scent listed with some of the other monsters in the bestiary. I think one of the sharks or something has Keen Scent. I think there's a couple others I saw in the Tome of Horrors. Keen Scent. Some Sahuagin favor a keen sense of smell over other senses. Sahuagin can notice creatures by scent in a 180-foot radius underwater and can detect blood in the water at a range up to 1 mile. This trait replaces rubbery skin. So, if you're going to give this ability, I would suggest that a requirement to it would be that they have to have the aquatic subtype in order to take keen scent. This way you can't try and bypass just picking keen scent up rather than scent. So, but because Sahuagin are very related, very similar to sharks, some of the same traits are instilled there, why not a keener scent? And maybe this can kind of go along with blind sense. So, some of those other features where they don't have to rely on direct vision, but other acute senses. Alright, so that is an alternate racial trait. Now, to go with what James Jacobs said about the shoreline raiden, the ability to hold your breath, I went with a race trait, what are similar to what you would find when you have to pick 2 traits, whether it be combat or social or a campaign trait. Here's my version of a race trait for the Sahuagin. Shoreline Raider. Sahuagin can hold their breath for a number of rounds equal to 4 times their Constitution score before risking suffocation or drowning or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, that's what you can use if you don't employ any kind of magical aid. So another one I saw, another creature. I took this from it because I liked it. Smuggler's pouch. You think about the Jaws movies and how they're able to distend their jaws and things get stuck there, as evident in the movies. Smuggler's pouch comes to mind. Sahuagin are able to extend their jaws to swallow and hide objects up to size tiny or too fine objects and so on within this pouch. Swallowing or disgorging an object in this manner takes a full round action. Once in the pouch, objects cannot be targeted by effects or attacks that require line of sight or line of effect. So, I like that one a lot. And now on to the mutations. Sahuagin benefit greatly from mutations. There's a lot of great lore there. I read about those on the D20 PFSRD, but they're also featured in the Skull and Shackles Book 2, Raiders of the Sea, something like that. Skull and Shackles, right in the back, they talk about the different mutant subtypes, even present bestiary stats for those. So I'm going to go with those. Why not? The Atakathi, if I'm saying that right, this is one mutant subtype. These prehistoric Sahuagin can be found in the same waters as prehistoric creatures or waters that are somehow strangely affected by the flow of time. Throwbacks to some even more savage epoch. Atakathi are large size and can speak with aquatic dinosaurs and megafauna in addition to sharks. So here we go. We have a large-sized creature. Bestiary 4, they introduced the Trox, which was also a race example in this book too, the Advanced Race Guide. They're starting to showcase large races, playable. One that has a +6 to strength. Keep in mind, they put the +2 in there for their size instead of making that separate. So really it's a +4 to strength, but then with their size it gives it a +6. So Atakathi. So they are large in size. That's the only benefit. So in addition to getting an extra +2 to strength due to their size. So that is a cost of 7. And now on to the other subtypes here of the mutations. The next one is 4-armed. Something that's quite common Sahuagin are prone to beneficial mutations, and when a mutant is born, it almost always rises to society's nobility or rulership. The most common Sahuagin mutation is an extra pair of arms, granted 2 additional claw attacks, or the opportunity to wield more weapons. Only one hand is its primary hand, and all others are off hands. It can also use its hands for other purposes that require free hands. So, you do have the Kasatha. Is a playable race in Bestiary 4, which is a 4-armed creature. So, similarly, you can allow this 4-armed Sahuagin as well. It's a +8 additional cost to whatever RP is currently there for the Sahuagin. So, you're looking at a monstrous power level there. The next one, Malenti. Rumors speak of the rare Malenti, Sahuagin who look not like sharkmen, but aquatic elves, yet who share their kin's bloodlust and cruel natures. Malenti do not receive bite or claw attacks, nor do they suffer light blindness. Malenti receive the following ability scores: +2 to Dex, +2 to Charisma, and gain Deceitful as a bonus feat, or they can choose Command, which is limited to aquatic subtypes only, as a spell-like ability once per day. The caster level of the spell is equal to character level. So, you can either get Deceitful or Command. Choose one of the two. But there's no additional cost for this one, since you're taking out a lot of the things with the Sahuagin, such as the light blindness and the bite and the claws. Yet the Malenti still have the water sense. They still have the blood frenzy. They still have the empathy with sharks, and just in the terms of speaking to them or communicating to them anyway. So there is that. So they would look like an aquatic elf. So vastly, drastically different than actual Sahuagin, but they're still monstrous humanoids with the aquatic subtype. Next one. Shark-blooded. These Sahuagin have overly large maws, filled with rows of shark-like teeth which deal 1d6 points of damage rather than 1d4. Shark-blooded mutants possess the fins and tails of an oversized thresher shark or other local variety. So they have an appearance of monstrous merfolk, and they have no legs and cannot be tripped. Gain a land speed of 5 feet and a swim speed of 80 feet. Shark-blooded Sahuagin are most typically found in Sahuagin communities with unusually high numbers of shark guardians near shark breeding grounds. So here we go, more of a direct descendant or relation to sharks. So you have the shark-blooded Sahuagin. So they would have the same sort of appearance as a merfolk's body. So very, very, very slow land speed. Really, this would be more acceptable for a water environment, water campaign, where they would reign supreme. Last one here. Spined. Covered in hundreds of needle-like spines, these Sahuagin can raise their piercing protrusions to impale creatures that attempt to grapple or consume them. Any creature that grapples a spined Sahuagin takes 1d4 points of piercing damage. Additionally, these mutants gain defensive combat training as a bonus feat. Spined Sahuagin most commonly appear in the depths that also serve as the hunting grounds of sea serpents, thalassic behemoths, or other massive aquatic predators. So that's what I got. And I was quite pleased with the racial point cost on these. They're not too high. I approximate these to be 16 racial points, so very, very similar to what you would expect from a Aasimar, where the Aasimar is 15. Well, you have the Sahuagin. Now, if you apply one of the subtypes, of course, then you're going to go out of the advanced category and go into the monstrous category for power level. And what do I mean? Well, if you're taking a multi-armed, that's going to be 20 plus, as well as the Atakathi, or having the no, that should be it. So if you choose the Malenti, there's no additional cost. If you choose the Shark Blood, there's no additional cost. But if you choose the Spined, you still need advanced class, or the advanced range there. So you got a little bit of play there. You can showcase many different types of subtypes. So this is one option, just like what I presented with the Grindylow. Want to be a Grindylow? want to be a Sahuagin, want to play Skull and Shackles or some other similar campaign, here you go. From shore to sea, I don't know. Anyway, really cool. I liked them a lot. I liked running them. They were a lot of fun in Skull and Shackles. Maybe you've had a lot of fun with them in another game or campaign, whatever. But anyway, hopefully you like this. Hopefully it makes sense to you. Of course, any comments, questions, suggestions, please let me know. Hopefully I've kind of limited some of your time on this, so you don't have to build one from the ground up. I give you some things to work with to make one of your own, very unique to you. But anyway, I think I've exhausted everything I have for right now. I still have some other things I'm working on. I will be presenting soon, but back to more playing of my online game group. So, until next time, see ya.